Hello guys, and welcome back to the Rising Tide. Now in this video, I'll be showing you how to import an image into your React Native application. I'll also show you how to display the image and perhaps send it if you want to send the image maybe perhaps to the server. So here we have an application. I'm going to close this. Here we have the application with the floating button. When you click on the button, it's going to open your media to show you the list of images that you have. You can change the directory if you want to select an image from a particular directory. Once you have this, you can select any image of your choice. I'm just going to select this one. You can also crop the image to whatever size you want, perhaps aspect ratio, and then you click on crop. And that is going to import the image into your application, as you can see here. So you have the send button, you can send, and you can also close it. So that's all we'll be building in this video. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Alright, so here I have a simple React Native project setup, and in our app component we have a basic navigation. If you don't know how to set up navigation, please check out the video I'm going to link up in the card on how to set up navigation and start navigation in React Native. So we have this start navigation with two screens. You have the home screen where we just have this background. We just set the background to white and the padding to 10, and we also have the image preview screen, which is a basic React Native component you can set up with the React Native to snippet. So to generate this, just run the command rnfs and hit enter, and that's going to generate that for you. I'm using a library called a React Native Redux toolkit, which you can install it from the extension. Just type React Redux GraphQL. You're going to get this React Native extension, which is what I use to generate the code. So once you have that already set up, let's now begin with our project. So we're going to go now to our home screen component, where we'll create the floating button for our application. Down here, I'm just going to remove this text, and here I'm just going to create a touchable opacity, and no, this is not that touchable opacity. It is touchable opacity from React Native, not React Native gesture handler, please. Alright, this one. And here I'm just going to give it some parameters such as the active opacity. You can set it to 0.7. This is to reduce that over blur. I'm going to set the style to be styles dot I'll call it floating btn. I'll also set the on press event. I set it to import image. I'm going to create this function in a minute, and that should be it. Next, we're going to import this create this function. So we'll come up here, we'll say const this is equal to alright, the icons I use for this project, I'm just going to paste it in. This is the plus icon from the icon library. So we're going to install the icons now. So I'm going to go into my terminal, create a new terminal window here, and in here I'm going to run the command yarn add, let me clear this please. I'm going to run the command yarn add and add expo vector icons. Now it's going to install the icon library, which we're going to use. Alright, so while that is installing, there are also a couple of libraries that I use for the project, which I come back here to my project, and in my package.json, inside the package.json file, you're going to see I have the expo-image-picker library and the expo media library, which you need to install to have the ability to select the images. So you have to install these two libraries to continue. I'm going to leave a script on how to install them in the description video, in the video description. So once you have that installed, you're just going to press Ctrl space to open this tooltip, and then you're going to import it. So I have it imported up here. Now we're going to give the styles for this our floating button. So just going to select it, and then I'll say for the floating button rather, I'm going to set the position of absolute. I'm just going to paste in the rest of the styling for the floating button component, so it should get displayed faster. So here we just have a width and height of the property of the button. We set the border radius to 50 to make it circular. We centralize the icon inside of the floating button, that is this plus icon. We just set it some custom shadow property with an elevation of 2. So that's basically what we have to get this button up and running. So we're going to come back to this function, the import image functionality, and in here we'll say, and in here we're going to create a variable called result. I'll set it to be to await the image picker which we're going to import from the expo-image-picker library. So we'll come here and we'll say import or import star as image picker from the library is expo-image-picker, this one, which you install. You need to install it for this to work. This function needs to be async because it's making an async call. And once you have that image picker, we're going to say image picker dot launch image async library, that, and in here we'll set the media types to be image picker dot media type options and dot images. Now to have that functionality to be able to crop the image, you need to set this allow editing property to true. This is going to let you crop the image, and the quality of the image starts from 0 to 1. So if you have set it to 0, you're going to have a really low quality image. However, if you set it to 1, it's going to import the image in the highest quality. So after this, we're going to come down here and say if there is no result, that is if the result dot is cancelled, dot cancelled, as if after importing the image the user clicks on the cancel and not crop or import image, we want this function to run. So I want to set the image, we need to create this state here to hold the value of the imported image. So we say use state, that's going to import the use state hook and the use state snippet. So say image, and we'll set the value to the default value to null. So if the user has not cancelled the image, we're going to say set the image. I'm going to set the image to the result dot assets. I will grab the first item because it is an array, so you need to grab the first item and its URI. This is the path to the imported image. So here, let me just log it to make sure that we are getting the correct data. So I'm just going to say console log image. Let's say image URI. Let's create the variable here. So we're saying const image URI. This should be equal to this same parameter up here. So just paste this in and let's save that. So once you click on the button, it is going to try to import the image. So it's trying to access my phone. My laptop is a bit slow, so this may take some time. Alright, so as you can see, you're able to access the library. Alright, these are the images. I'm just going to select this first image. If you want to know how to import an image into your emulator, you just simply drag the image from wherever folder it is and you paste it inside the emulator. It's going to automatically get imported into the downloads folder in your computer. So here's the image. So if you click on this back button, that's the cancel function. However, as you can see, we already have this crop functionality implemented, which comes from setting this editing value to true. So you can crop the image, rotate, flip the image, and whatsoever you want. So as you can see, so here we're able to import the image. So if you check the log, the contour of the application, you're going to see that you are able to, alright, this is the path to that file on this emulator. So what all you need to do now is we need to be able to display that imported image. So we'll come down here and we're going to navigate. So once you are able to get the image, all we do is you need to be able to navigate to the path where you have to another screen where we're going to display that value. So I'm going to say if there is a result, if there is a result, we're going to navigate. So we'll say navigation, which we will import it up here. So we'll come here, we say const navigation is equal to use navigate. Use navigation, and you'll say navigation dot navigate. I'm going to set the screen we want to navigate to. So we want to navigate to this screen up here, to this image preview screen. However, we don't just want to navigate, we also want to pass in that image file as a parameter, so we'll be able to render it. So in here we'll say the image file, which is a property we're giving it, we'll set it to this image URI. Let me just give it this image URI, this value. Let me reduce this to not only, yeah, and that's going to navigate to the component. So in the component, we're going to come up to open the image preview component, and in here we will say that this component takes in two parameters. The first one is the route, and the first one is navigation, which you can import you can have the navigation from the app route, or you can directly import it. I'm just going to call it from the app route here. We're going to try to access that image file that was imported. So we're going to say image file. I'll set it to the route.param. Alright, so once that is imported, let's try to display it. So I'm just going to come here. I'll set the style to be styles.container. To style it, so say container, and this is going to have a similar style as our home screen container style. I'm just going to copy this style and paste it here. And this does not have a background padding, and it has a background of black, and a justify content center to center the items vertically. So say justify content center. Now after this, we're just going to set the status, change the status bar. I'll set it to hidden. This is to remove the status bar. So let's try to see if it works. So I'm going to import an image. So I'll select this image. Alright, so once the image is imported, I'm just going to Alright, so here I have the component. So there's an error here. It's supposed to be styles, not this word or whatever that is. Alright, so let's try to import the image again. Click on the plus, you select an image, copy it. It says status bar doesn't exist. Alright, so we're supposed to import status bar from not expo status bar but from React Native. Too many mistakes. Let's do that again. Crop that. Alright, so yeah, we have the blank screen. So let's try to display the image now. We'll come here, we're going to create a view and we'll style it to say stars.image wrapper. And inside the image wrapper, we're just going to display the image. So we'll say image background, which is going to import it from the React Native library. So image background. I'm going to set a couple of properties for this image background. So the first one is the source, where we want the source to be the URI. We'll set the source URI to be this image file that we imported. We're going to get the URI. So next we're going to set the width and height property of this component. So we'll set the style, just going to be an inline styling. First we'll set the width to be 100% and then the height to be 100%. And finally, I'm just going to close this. It says unexpected token. There's a missing closing parenthesis somewhere. Alright, this view. So yeah, this is our image being displayed. Let's try to limit the image. So you can customize this however you want. Okay, I'm just going to come here and I'll set the height property to be 65%. To be 65%. And I'll set a margin top property for absolutely no reason to be 20 points. Alright, so as you can see, you are able to import and preview the image. So let's just create the functionality to close this model and also to be able to we'll just create a demo button that you can use to send the image. So above this view component, we're going to create a touchable opacity, and not from that library. I keep importing the wrong package today. This is going to have the similar properties as the other one. So active opacity is set to 0.7 or 0.8. We're going to have an onPress function that will just call close the preview create this function in a minute. And finally, we'll have some styles. The first one will be styles.closeBTN, because that's close button, and we have the X icon to close it. So I'm just going to copy this icon from my other screen and paste it in. We're going to import it. So we have that imported. Let's create this close button function. So saying once close button is an arrow function. Now the close button functionality is pretty simple. All you just need to do is say navigation dot navigate. We're just going to go back to the home screen. That's everything for the close. Let's give it some styling. So we'll come here, we'll say for this close button, alright, so I'm just going to paste in the styles for this floating button, that is for the close button up there. So I'm just going to copy it from my external screen and I'll paste it in here. I would edit those. Alright, so we're supposed to have the floating button working. Don't know why it's not displaying correctly. Let's say close BTN. Alright, so this was supposed to be style, not styles. That's why the button is not displaying correctly. So there we have it. So I did some modifications. Let's revert those. Alright, that's as a button. Next, we can also set the send button here. So I'm just going to design it. So I'll create a touchable opacity, and in here we're just going to, in fact, we're just going to copy this button up here and paste it down, because that has a similar functionalities. But instead of an icon, we're going to render a text, not a text but text. And for the text, we're just going to set the text to send, and after that we're going to render an icon, that is the send icon we had in the demo. So I'm also going to copy this one from my other screen and I'll paste it in. I'll give it some styling for this text. I'll set this it's not styles again but styles. I'll set it to send text. I'll change this button to send BTN, and the function I'll set it to send func. I'm just going to create that here, cons. Now make sure when you're implementing this function you set it to async. Otherwise, you may actually have some issues with the server not with the image not being as fast as your application. So make sure you set it to async, and your functionality you use await or use the .then to try the .then functionality in JavaScript. If you want to learn how the .then or the async await works, please let me know down in the comment, and I'm going to do a video to explain all those functionalities. So here I'm just going to set a simple to do, and I'll set it to send image, or do whatever you want with the image. Now I have this to do extension in my application, which is why this text is highlighted, so you can install it, and when you have it installed, you are going to see a to do tree extension here. This one, which is going to list all the to do's inside your application. So inside this function there's one to do called send image, which you can use to manage your tags in case you have functionalities that you forget to implement. Down here we're just going to start this send btn, so come to the end here. Here we'll set the width to be 135 and 25. We'll set the height property to be simple, say 35 points or 36 points. We'll set the border radius to 15. Align items to center and justify content center as well. Now set it some background color. Here I'm going to give it this green color, the one we use in our header. So the hex code is this. And finally, we're just going to set the flex direction. Okay, so we're just going to set the flex direction to be row, and the margin top, to give it a bit of space, set it to 20%. Alright, there's an error. Alright, we forgot to import this ionic cons icon, so control space, and that's going to import that. Hopefully it did. Alright, just imported it. Finally, I'm just going to set some small star here for the send text, which is just some color property. So set the color to white. Also going to set the font size to 20, the font weight to 400, and to separate it from the other icon, we'll give it the margin right property of 10. That should be all for that preview. Let's try to import an image again. I'm just going to select this random image, and now import it. Alright, so here is our send button. Like I said, you can modify it, change it to however you want, and yeah, so you can customize this button and do whatever functionalities you want. So that is all for this video. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel for more amazing contents like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.